Hello everyone and welcome back to Danganronpa, where I'm pretty sure we have this just about nailed down.
If we don't have it nailed down, I'm gonna be so sad that we are so wrong.
Man, yeah, we will have been wrong for a long time.
Yeah,
All
we
week
will
it's been like, it's Celeste, it's Celeste, it's Celeste.
Celeste, I know.
Alright, let's see what happens.
I think so. I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same, that was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed the fact from the very beginning. Which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
He seems angry.
So what you are saying then is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit brain fat, lazy, worthless goddamn idiot!
Whoa.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Encountering the suspicious individual?
Yeah.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
And it's funny, as I was putting up the episodes, I realized that Hifumi at one point says, "Oh, it was Robo-Justice." And he's like, "Oh, that's just what I decided to call it anyway." I didn't pick up on that at first.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Wow.
Sorry. As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said? Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Then Hifumi screamed.
Yep.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Ah.
I don't know. We were pretty much thinking she was in this somehow.
We knew she was suspicious.
Way too suspicious, yeah.
From the first time that she claimed to have been beaten up, I knew that I was onto her.
Well, If Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor. Everything's going according to plan.
Oh, that fake scream. She's like, what should I do? And I yell for help.
Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead. Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
So that's why they didn't check out the body.
I don't believe it. Everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
And let me guess, we get to figure out what that is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Okay. They must wait. No.
No?
Because I'm thinking you would probably say they if you didn't know the gender of the killer. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused.
We're all going to die here. Just like those guys died.
Because we hadn't discovered Taka at that point, I don't think.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment.
That's what it was.
Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything
Yep, that's what it is.
Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
I can't believe they're dead.
Yep.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. But what is he alluding to?
Here we go. Alright, I have a feeling that's gonna be... We're gonna have to grab something, I have a feeling.
Probably.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys.
There's the
died.
contradiction.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Is that it?
Try it.
She should only have known about Hifumi's death. With that in mind, what's so strange about what she said is... I know the now at this point at least we know the strange...
We are all going to die here.
Right here.
We are going to die.
Just like those...
There you go.
No, that's wrong. That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
I initially took it as, when she said just like those guys did, I took it as everyone who had died up to that point.
I didn't catch it.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys?
Again, I probably wouldn't put too much stock in
Because Kyoko
that.
had also disappeared, right?
Oh.
So she could have been dead too.
I didn't think of that.
Right, but I feel like saying just like those guys, like if it was two people, I could see saying just like those guys did.
Yeah, and I would say guys sometimes in the right context is gender neutral.
Right. When you're referring to a group of people, that is especially when it's a mix.
Yeah.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
I think this
How
is
do
set
you
up.
explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit.
Are we sure?
Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does
She
not
could have
a
took the
timer.
picture though.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out, how does she
In
know?
other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? It wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. The only other possibility is Hifumi and the suspect had been drinking. Hifumi is dragging the suspect away?
These don't make
Maybe he has like has Robo Justice like slumped over his shoulders.
Oh, yeah. Because you can carry the pieces.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility.
There we go.
The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me
Wow.
to educate you.
Oof. Celeste thinks she can prove there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? Alright.
Robo Justice costume.
Yasuhiro's message and Robo Justice blueprints. Okay.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out!
We reached the end game.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright.
Because the costume can't
The
bend.
person inside the suit was unconscious. There's no way they could stand up straight like that.
I think it's the blueprints in that.
Telling idiot is the culprit after all.
No way!
So you think it's the blueprints or which?
Oh no, it might be the costume itself. If I remember right, Hina said that she couldn't bend at the waist. So I think it's the Robo Justice costume itself.
Okay.
Then you just draped me up. You tried to make me look
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit
Oops, wrong one. It was the next one.
Shoot! You dressed
me up in that.
I got over anxious.
That's okay.
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, if the person inside the suit, there's no way they could
There you go.
stand up straight.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. I had it. I just
You got trigger happy.
I got trigger happy.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Can't bend at the waist.
Yeah, there we go.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
That way the person couldn't ever be slumped over.
Yep.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing.
I mean, the only question is how did they get Hero's measurements?
The point of it all
I don't know
was
if they're
to
gonna tell
make
us,
us
but yeah, I
believe
agree with
whoever
you.
was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
It's never a good sign when they're upside down like that.
What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
I was wondering about that.
Uh-huh. Did she...
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Or did he just say that also?
To protect her?
Yeah. Like, what does she have on him?
Well, I mean, at that point, there wouldn't be any reason for him to protect
Maybe
her other than
she's gonna take the money and do something for him that he needs. Like family, friends, something that would help.
take care of them outside.
Yeah.
Ah, that would make sense.
Right. But my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing
Huh?
statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro. But are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
I'm trying to figure out what her deal is
I
now.
know.
Kyoka, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Last names. Mr.
No, that's true.
Nagi.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental.
Is her
by
last
chance.
name that?
That's what I was wondering.
First name.
Because remember, we were like, oh, what's your last name really? Or what's your name really? And she keeps saying Celestia Ludenberg.
Uh-huh.
Indecent.
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Yes, it does.
Except the person whose last name we don't actually know.
Yeah.
No. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit.
She's crazy.
Come on, enough with your idiotic blather. Yasuhiro is a loser's name. Do I look like a loser? to you?
What?
Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
She's becoming really unhinged.
Well,
Celeste still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. Alright. Man, what are we gonna get in this?
E-handbook.
I'm assuming it's gotta be the e-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name.
Right. No.
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg! God
Whoa.
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I love it when Master yells at people.
It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
The e-handbook.
that's the only
Yeah.
truth there is! Moron!
Moron.
There's something that shows its owner's real name. I'm sure Kyoko mentioned something like that at some point.
It's the e-handbook.
It's the e-handbook goes to that one.
He wanted us to know the killer. If there's one person
It would have to be you.
Just be careful, there was crossing letters
Yeah.
on that one.
tell me, Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
Jeez.
She's so calm and
I
then
love
comes
it when
so
Max-
unhinged.
I'm not pretending.
Here it
It's
is.
the truth. And since you have no way to...
No, it's wrong.
Oh yeah, we got this. Breaking the case wide
That's
open.
it. The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
You display your name, so there you go. Make sure you're the right one.
So if we turn it on,
All we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning.
We're gonna
and
do
shed
the
light on all your crimes.
yeah.
And that'll bring everything to an end.
we're gonna do the comic book thing.
Closing arguments.
All right.
So, all right.
I like that we have the blood drip
Yeah, the poster.
from the last one.
All right. What? Can't really figure out what's going on. Oh, that's the killer.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be him talking to Celeste, is my guess.
Yeah. Ah, that's right.
Oh, you can click on those and it'll say, okay.
Yes.
So what does that one say? In this case, how did the killer recruit their accomplice? Was it seduction?
Eh. Thinking probably snacks. Unless it really wants you to use that poster. That's the only thing I can think of.
I was thinking he wanted the money, but there's no money, so I'm wrong. Okay.
We can come back to that one
Yep,
with
so
something
what's
else.
this one say? What time did the killers call their victim to the rec room? Wasn't that 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. What does this one say? Who was it that the killer summoned first? It was Hiro. So is there one of Hiro? Right there, maybe that
Yeah.
one. Okay. Scroll. Alright, what's this one? They knocked him out and they stuffed him into the Robo Justice suit to falsify their evidence.
They use a certain item to do it. Is there... Ah.
Okay, this is gonna be the watch thing.
What time was Taka supposed to... That was 6.
Is there another clock? That one says 7:10.
Oops. You're right. You're right. You're right.
No, that's gotta be it then. The other one's 1.
That one, yeah, this one is like, no, this one's just after 6.
Okay.
This should be like 6:05.
That's 7:05.
You're right.
No, you're right. No. It's crooked. It's this way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're good. So scroll down. All right, so whackity whack whack with the hammer. And this should be Justice Hammer.
They use
4?
Because Hifumi was 3. I'm fairly certain.
Okay. And then you'll ever use something to fake the existence of a shadowy criminal.
That one had to have been Justice Hammer 2.
Okay.
Alright. So then... When Hifumi was pretending to be dead, that was the 3rd one.
Okay. What's this one?
That was a dolly.
Yep. That right there. Okay. What's the last one?
What was it? Ah! It was that one.
Okay.
I think that's it. The only one that I wasn't like super confident about was the first one, but I don't see anything. This is the only other one that I'm like, is that supposed to symbolize seduction? I don't think so.
Let's try it.
Here's exactly what happened.
Here's exactly what happened.
Hifumi was lured by snacks.
The killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Hifumi himself.
Recruit their accomplice. Was it seduction?
Grab Hifumi, because remember Celeste? He was hitting on Celeste. Sorry, we're idiots. Okay, now try it.
The killer is... you!
Well, but when it said like how.
Before anything, the killer...
Okay.
Hifumi, with an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Tick-tock.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit.
Clickety-click.
Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m.
Yeah, you're right. Chloe's holding it.
The murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. From the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But
He looks like a rabbit there.
Didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all,
Oops.
Celeste.
What?
Celeste. Sorry, you lose.
I lost?
It sure seems that way.
Yeah.
Guess we'll have to find out, did we get it right in the next episode? I'm pretty sure we got this.
I think we got
I'm gonna
this
say
one.
we got this.
I think we won this
but
one.
can we just pretend there's suspense?
Suspense. It could not be.
It could be.
We could be wrong. Very
Right.
wrong. Horribly
Well-
wrong.
We'll just have to find out what happens next time. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.